Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining me here. If you found me today, there may be a message of hope for your healing journey, soul's evolution, and or transformation of trauma. Where does transformational trauma come from? Well, if you have experienced abuse, whether it be childhood or with karmic families, addictive personalities, and or been around a narcissist, these all are traumatic events and experiences, and whenever you go through anything like that, the sudden and involuntary and frightening events that they can create and you're not prepared for, sometimes you feel like you can't control your energetic system. It can cause trauma, and yes, it can be transformed, but the traumatic events sort of disconnects you from your helpful resources. Your sense of safety is compromised. You may be feeling unhealthy, maybe adrenal fatigue. Your coping skills might be off par. And yes, your connections to your loved ones may be at stake due to these events. Maybe you're in shutdown mode, and that's okay to go in hermit mode to recover your sense of self. But physical pain and tensions can be also a factor if you've sought out medical help and they don't seem to find anything. There's also something called phantom pain and fear, which lies in your organs. So for most trauma survivors, it's mostly held at the core of the body. A lot of women have stomach or abdomen issues, low back, as well as upper torso, chest, shoulders, or spine. A lot of times it's your sacred energy. Especially if you've birthed children, you can attach to that because you had a living force inside your body, so it's easy to access those emotions. Sometimes your body does keep the score eloquently, and it knows the overwhelming experiences that affect the development of your brain, your body, mind, and soul, including your child inside of you. So it is all intertwined. The details are profound. It leaves an impact on your body, mind, and soul, and an imprint in your heart. And it definitely is stored in your Akashic records, believe it or not. Body, mind, and soul, sometimes scientifically or medically, it's not really diagnosed, but your body does know and your brain does know that you've been compromised and you've suffered. And the pleasure zones engaging in lack of control and or trust of people may be apparent. So there's acute trauma from a single incident, and that could be something even as a child being bit by a dog. You might carry that through your life, the trauma in your body, and it may show up if you maybe are an adult and you have a dog and you're fearful of that, or losing your breath when you're swimming, or having cramps, feeling like you're going to drown. Sometimes when you go swimming as adults, that shows up. Or women that have birthing plans, including water births, sometimes it does show up, and then your fear is transferred into the child. Chronic trauma is repeated or prolonged, such as domestic violence and or severe abuse, especially from a narcissistic person. Complex trauma is the exposure varied to multiple traumatic events, often in an invasive, impersonal nature. Narcissistic abuse, whether you have karmic narcissistic parents and or relationships that keep accumulating until the karmic is learned, then you can release it. It's okay to start your practice now. Influence your body to release the trauma, and inspiration for yourself, motivation, and stimulation is also consideration to your healing of your trauma. Body work is great, but a practitioner that would definitely lay hands on your body would need to be a very spiritual one, such as shamanic healer and or trauma release practitioner that's well-versed and highly spiritual ranking. So can you release this from your body? Yes, you can. Cognitive processing are different. You may need a rail therapist who's licensed with traumatic events such as narcissistic or abuse. And if this was prolonged from your childhood, EMDR is wonderful. Somatic experiences are great. I've been trained in that as well and experienced it. and does help release some of the post-traumatic stress syndrome that you may have experienced. And also, if you've experienced it, your children feel it because they may have experienced it while they're living in the same home from you. So energetically, they can take that on. So talk therapy, any movement practice such as breath work, yoga, Kundalini energy running through your body, it's all stored somewhere and it needs to be experienced and or released. So I hope this helped today. And just remember, take care of you. And so it is. Namaste.